Oh boy, here's a franchise long overdue getting a review treatment, Evil Dead, which put director Sam Raimi and actor Bruce Campbell on the map. But today, we're strictly looking at where it all began, The Evil Dead, widely released in 1983. The first thing we've got to talk about is Ash Williams, and what always throws me off returning to the original is that this is not the same badass boomstick wielding Ash that we all know and love. He's the loser of the group, being the butt of the jokes, having a nervous personality, and even a dorky haircut to boot. It's very surreal, honestly, but on the plus side, he proves to be the perfect slapstick foil for the physical violence that he endures, and not to mention that beautiful, well-conditioned chin of his. Oh yeah, give me some sugar, baby. And the other people? Well, Scott is a funny smartass, probably the best of the bunch, while Cheryl, Linda and Shelley, sad to say, kind of blend together in my head. I always forget who's who. To be honest, as people, the casts mostly leave little impression, even after a handful of viewings, but once it all kicks off, the acting works, and they're insanely enjoyable when they go full Deadite mode. Also, Bob Dorian is effective in his brief stint as the professor on the tape, and Sam Raimi himself does the Evil Dead voice, obviously having a ball there, while going haywire with the sound design. It's clear that Sammy wasn't too bothered about the plot, it's as basic as it gets with a mystery that's pretty predictable, and a ragtag of young folk stumbling upon an evil book and being attacked by demons. Notably, Raimi had a less than 400k budget to work with, and damn does he utilise those limited funds to the best of his ability. For starters, the setting is great. Real simple, just a rundown, creepy cabin out of the woods. Very cliché as a matter of fact, but you don't think much of the trope given the pure bananas chaos that unfolds. But beside that, I like how the cabin is so small and tight, making that aforementioned chaos so confined and inescapable. The cellar is of course classic, and is like this rank, desolate dungeon, and the use of dust and fog, indoors and outdoors, naturally creates this chilling atmosphere, as does the black cloud enveloping the moon. Tim Filo's cinematography is a defining factor. Firstly, the low-grade quality is beneficial, boosting that unsettling grittiness and amplifying that video nasty merit, although the downside is that it's sometimes out of focus, coming off as distractingly amateurish. But there's such a variety of cool, distinct angles, tight, wide, standard, off-kilter, most famously the rapid handheld work. The makeup and special effects are stuff of legend and, yep, are still a thing of beauty. Again, even more impressive considering the small budget. The grey body paint and emphasised blue veiny limbs when they're possessed, such simplicity but it's clever, and the all white eyes obviously help too. Then all the blood and the gore and the dismemberment is so wonderfully exaggerated and disgusting. Especially that stop motion dissolving effect, that is rad. Standout highlights for me include Cheryl being attacked by the trees, which is scary as hell, and Ellen Sandweiss going all in for reactions. There's Linda getting stabbed in the ankle, the wild face-off between Scott and Shelley, Linda becoming an infectiously giggling maniac and endlessly torturing Ash, and the fun, wild finale, including that awesome mirror effect and that iconic ending. Last thing I mention is Joe Lakuda's screechy score, which only further fuels the bonkers terror. Between the original trilogy, this is definitely the darkest and most grounded. Well, as grounded as you can be in this freaky ass scenario, but you get my drift. It isn't quite as chock full of yuck goofy laughs like 2 and especially Army of Darkness, which is partly the reason why that's my favourite of the series, and while I don't love this film to death, it's still entertaining, and an admirable achievement, an inspirational predecessor to all creatives out there, filmmakers or otherwise, of excelling beyond the limitations thrust upon you to produce something that stands the test of time. And to give her smart shopping 2 cents on the matter, my special guest today, Splintered Halo vocalist Evilyn Van Der Hyden.
Hi folks, my name is Evilyn and I am the vocalist of Splintered Halo, Scotland's original horror band. I am delighted to have been asked on by Jason for part of Smalloween. The movie we're covering today is one that's very close to my own heart. In fact, my band has just released a single about it. It is Sam Raimi's Evil Dead. So just going to quickly cover a couple of my own personal highlights and some of the bits that I think are iconic. That's the only word to use for it. So I think everyone will know what I'm talking about when I say the Evil Dead cam. So the very first shot where the camera is, weaving through the woods. I actually didn't see the movie until maybe my early 20s. And I remember seeing that scene and it just hooked me. Very, very sinister. Widely replicated now, but amazing at the time. I think now it's kind of regarded as a bit of a comedy horror because maybe some of the practical effects haven't aged that well, but there are still some truly scary moments, I think, in The Evil Dead, particularly the first half of the movie. the build up where you've got whispers like chanting, some of the really kind of scary voices that are used in that movie, particularly when they didn't have access to everything that we do now to do special effects. I think it's amazing. So if you haven't seen The Evil Dead, do make sure that you watch it, you're missing out. Check out my band, check out our single Evil Dead, and don't read from the fucking book.
Thanks very much, Eve, and be sure to check out the band's cracking latest single, fittingly enough, The Evil Dead, available to buy and stream today. But as for me in the meantime, I'm Jason, and this is Small Movie World, watching, talking, and loving films.